Recently, I visited the Chickamauga battlefield in northwest Georgia. I uploaded a video on Chickamauga and will leave a link to that video in the description here. On my way home from Chickamauga, I stopped by Point Park that is located at Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga, Tennessee. In this video, I will look at the history of Lookout Mountain, the Cherokee Indian connection, the role it played in the Civil War, and Point Park. The last part of the video, I highlight Point Park, and this gives you an opportunity to see how it looks today and show you the views you can see from the point. So let's get started. For millions of years, Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga, Tennessee, has stood as a silent witness to ancient people who called it sacred, to the clash of armies during the Civil War, and to generations who come here to experience history and breathtaking views. Today, we'll uncover the mountain story, from its ancient origins to the legends of Native Americans, to the battle that helped to change a nation, also Point Park and the history that is kept alive there. Lookout Mountain is a long ridge stretching about 75 to 90 miles across the Cumberland Plateau. It begins at Moccasin Bend in Chattanooga, Tennessee, runs through northwest Georgia, and reaches all the way down to Gadsden, Alabama. Its northern edge is marked by the Tennessee River, and this is the area we will be looking at in this video. As part of the Appalachian Mountain Range, Lookout Mountain is famous for its high elevation and outstanding views. Lookout Mountain is known today for the battle above the clouds during the Civil War, Ruby Falls, Rock City, the Incline Railway, and panoramic views. But the history of Lookout Mountain involves much more than this. Lookout Mountain was formed over 260 million years ago. Think about that. That's really incredible. The mountain was formed during the Alleghanian orogeny, a mountain building event that created the Appalachian Mountains. This occurred approximately 325 to 260 million years ago. And while the mountain was formed approximately 260 million plus years ago, I have read that the rocks that make up the mountain are 300 to 500 million years old. Long before it became a tourist destination, Lookout Mountain was home to the Cherokee people. One group in particular, known as the Chickamauga Cherokee, lived in the area. In fact, they called the mountain Chattanooga, a name that would later inspire the city's name. Chattanooga is an Indian word meaning rock coming to a point or end of the mountain. Archaeological evidence shows that the mountain had been inhabited for centuries. Other indigenous groups, such as the Muskogee and the Yuchi tribes, may also have lived and traveled through the region before the Cherokee became the dominant presence. In the late 1700s, the Cherokee leader, Dragging Canoe, established several towns along the Tennessee River Valley. One of these was known as Lookout Mountain Town, located near what is today Trenton, Georgia. The first written account of someone reaching the summit at Lookout Mountain came in 1818 when Elias Cornelius, a missionary and explorer, recorded the event in his journal. Cornelius promoted Christianity to Native American tribes, especially the Cherokee, Creek, and Choctaw. Cornelius also became the first non-Native American to record the Etowah Indian mounds that are located in Bartow County, Georgia. In the 1830s, after the forced removal of the Cherokee along the Trail of Tears, Lookout Mountain began drawing the attention of curious travelers and tourists. It quickly became a popular spot for sightseeing. So, when you visit the park today, it isn't just part of a Civil War battlefield. It is also an area shaped by Native American history, memory, and tragedy. Lookout Mountain gained national attention during the Civil War in November of 1863 as a result of the Battle of Lookout Mountain, also referred to as the Battle Above the Clouds. In the fall of 1863, Chattanooga was under siege. Following the Union defeat at Chickamauga in September, Confederate General Braxton Bragg surrounded the city, hoping to starve Union forces into surrender. Union reinforcements under General Ulysses S. Grant soon arrived, determined to break the siege. On November 24, 1863, Union troops under General Joseph Hooker launched an assault against Confederate forces defending the slopes of Lookout Mountain. The Confederates, commanded by Major General Carter Stevenson, held fortified positions along the mountain's rocky ridges and forested slopes. The battle began in the morning with heavy fog. As Union soldiers advanced up the mountain, the fog and smoke from gunfire enveloped the fighting. This eerie scene was the inspiration for the name Battle Above the Clouds. Despite the difficult terrain, Hooker's men pushed forward, using sheer numbers to overwhelm the Confederate line. By late afternoon, the Union Army had captured Lookout Mountain, forcing the Confederates to retreat. Although the Battle of Lookout Mountain is often associated with the summit, no fighting actually took place there. The Confederate troops withdrew from the summit during the night of November 24, 1863. Union forces then moved on to the summit the following morning. The victory on the mountain lifted the Union Army's morale and set the stage for the decisive assault the next day when Union forces stormed Missionary Ridge at Chattanooga and drove General Braxton Bragg and the Confederate Army out of Chattanooga. Today, located at the summit of Lookout Mountain, you can visit Point Park. Point Park was established in 1890 as part of the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park, which was the first national military park in the United States. In 1904, workers built the iconic entrance to Point Park, designed to resemble the shape of a castle. The Army Corps of Engineers built the Point Park gate and the wall that you see. This entrance gate is based on the insignia of the Army Corps of Engineers. From what I have read, Point Park was open to the public in 1905. Since then, Point Park has been a place for reflection, history, and incredible views of Chattanooga, the Tennessee River, and the surrounding valleys. When you are here, you occupy the same ground where Confederate and then Union troops held the high ground. So, you might be wondering, are the cannons at Point Park in the same spots they were during the Battle of Lookout Mountain? The answer is yes, pretty close. The National Park Service placed the cannons in the same strategic positions that artillery units used during the Battle Above the Clouds. The idea is to give visitors a real sense of how the point looked and felt back in 1863. Confederate forces held the heights of Lookout Mountain. They had the perfect vantage point to watch over Chattanooga and fire on Union forces moving below. These cannon placements weren't random. They were carefully positioned to control the approaches into Chattanooga and to maximize their effectiveness in battle. Later, when the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park was being developed, the National Park Service brought in condemned cannons, ones that were no longer in use, and placed them at the original positions. One of the main attractions for many visitors of Point Park are the fantastic views of the surrounding area. Here you can see the city of Chattanooga. On a clear day, you can spot many of the city's landmarks, like the Tennessee Aquarium and the Walnut Street Bridge. Unfortunately, the day that I was there, it was a little hazy, but you get the idea of what the city looks like from Point Park. Here, you can see how the Tennessee River makes its way to Chattanooga. You also see the famous Moccasin Bend. The name Moccasin Bend originated from the local Cherokee people who lived in the area long before settlers arrived. The outline of the bend looks very similar to the shape of a moccasin, the type of soft leather shoe worn by many Native American tribes. At many locations at Point Park, you can view valleys that stretch out into the distance. These valleys were shaped over millions of years, carved by rivers and geological shifts. The area below Point Park takes on a whole new meaning from this vantage point. So, standing here at Point Park, you're looking at the story of Chattanooga itself. The city, the river, the mountains, and the valleys are all connected, and Lookout Mountain has been watching over it all for centuries. Also located in Point Park is the Ox Museum. It may be small, but it packs a big story about Lookout Mountain, area history, and the Civil War. The museum is named after Adolph Ox, who was a well-known newspaper publisher. Ox lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee from 1877 until 1896. In fact, he became the majority owner of the Chattanooga Times in 1878 at the age of 19. Later, Ox would purchase the New York Times. Ox never forgot his Tennessee roots and was instrumental in helping preserve Lookout Mountain as part of the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park. One of the most impressive Civil War monuments I have seen anywhere is located in the center of Point Park, and that would be the New York Peace Monument. The monument was erected in 1907 and was dedicated in 1910. The monument was created to honor the many New York soldiers who fought in the Battle of Chickamauga and Lookout Mountain during the Civil War. But what makes this monument truly special is its message. At the top, you will see two soldiers, one Union and one Confederate, shaking hands in peace. It's a powerful symbol of reconciliation, reminding us that even after such a devastating conflict, the country was able to come back together. This is why it is called the Peace Monument. It doesn't just honor the sacrifice of soldiers, it also celebrates the healing of a divided country. This monument is the tallest monument in the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park. It is 95 feet tall. The monument can be seen from downtown Chattanooga. The monument is constructed of Massachusetts granite and Tennessee marble. This is another symbolic gesture of reconciliation between the North and the South. I really hope you enjoyed this video on Lookout Mountain and Point Park. It is an incredible place and offers fantastic views of the surrounding area. I really wish that I would have had more time to spend in Chattanooga so that I could have covered more about the history here. But hopefully I can come back in the future and show you more of this area. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. That would really help my channel a lot. I will have another video out soon, and until then, I wish you all the best.